My name is Cassandra Vega. I'm a junior at Rutgers University and Douglas Residential College. I'm majoring in political science and minoring in Latino and Caribbean studies. At Rutgers, I feel like there's a couple print and media absences when it comes to marginalized communities. Unless you're kind of tapped into the cultural centers or the clubs that are specifically dedicated to Black, Brown, and queer communities, it's kind of difficult to find that. When students hear Ambition magazine, I want them to think inspiration, I want them to think representation, and I want them to think action. And I think all three of those things are essential to any organization that claims to care about community and social change and diversity. I think it's really important to be able to see a lot of these marginalized communities in a positive light and have them being shown as leaders. Ambition kind of prides itself on targeting those student leaders of color who are creating these safe spaces for different marginalized communities here on campus. I am going out of my way to find women and non-binary students of color who are leading these organizations, because that's the kind of audience I want to cultivate, and I'm hoping that they're able to send it to their friends, post it on their stories, find people who are interested, and kind of build a community that way. I'm definitely hoping that Ambition reaches not only the student leaders that it's highlighting or the members of the clubs that they're participating in, but also regular students who just want to find, again, that kind of community and see what Rutgers has to offer outside of, what the website says or what the club listings are. I'm hoping Ambition kind of helps people find their people. Hearing the struggles of, what happens into going into their club. For Dear Asian Youth, they faced advisors who were saying that there was no need for their kind of club on campus and that they were too similar to other Asian clubs. And, the moment they got an advisor of color, they were like, oh yeah, we'll help you create this club. Or, I was talking with a Muslim feminist of the arts, and just the kind of Islamophobic things that they've encountered on campus from professors and other people in power. Just hearing that and, knowing that this is what student leaders who are taking initiative and doing everything right, that they're still facing these issues, it does make me a little disheartened at times, but again, it just fortifies the need for ambition. And see, these are the real things that are happening on campus, and these communities need to be stronger and more seen. So I hope that going forward, Ambition kind of brings in traffic to a lot of the organizations that I'm highlighting. I think people are starting to become a little bit more aware of the necessities of representation, especially when it comes to personal and professional success. A lot of people, especially from smaller towns, have kind of homogeneous populations, so this is the first time they're being introduced to Black women leaders or Muslim feminists that are being featured in Ambition. I also hope that students who are just looking at it to figure out what they want to do, what comes next, I hope that they're able to kind of see it as a tool for their own success and also a tool of inspiration. A lot of the time we're so focused on getting good grades and getting an internship and figuring out what steps are next that we kind of forget to find our people here. But I think that there's definitely a sense of isolation and missing out if you're on one campus, right? If you're living on, let's say, Cook Doug, right? That's kind of houses the women's college, right? That's really all you get. Unless you take a bus over to College Ave and you know exactly where to go, you know exactly where the cultural centers are, you'll miss it, right? The Center for Latino Arts and Culture is at the very end of College Ave. You have to come to Alexander Library, across the street. It's this tiny little house-looking thing. Nobody knows what that is or what they do. I would never be able to go to the Paul Robeson Cultural Center because it's on Bush and it's completely isolated away from all the other cultural centers. So it's almost impossible, I think, if you don't know about these things or you don't have somebody guiding you to be able to find these kinds of communities. So I hope Ambition is really able to show that there are these places on campus, but we do, as students, have the responsibility to take that extra step. There's nothing more important, I think, especially as marginalized people, than having that kind of community and having that kind of cultural pride. I think it's really important to own the identities that people have deemed insignificant or negative, and really turn that into, this is who I am. I think having the sense of belonging makes you feel more motivated. I would hope that Ambition magazine is able to incite more feelings of, again, belonging, but also creating those kind of communities and families here on campus. I think they should be an inspiration to the people that read it. They should see themselves represented, and they should also see some kind of action to move forward. How do I get involved? What do we do next? Because it's not enough just to see yourself, it should be how do I bring other people up with me. I hope that different minority groups here on campus feel a little bit more at home, a little bit more welcomed, a little bit more accepted.